Time to record another episode. Welcome to another episode of Tiffany Unpacks in Oregon. Today's episode, we're going to be opening box of games. I put an F on this one. Number 2. This one was obviously written upside down because, yeah. Do you want to see what my upside down writing looks like? Are you curious? Here you go. That's what upside down written box of games number 2 looks like. Ooh la la. There's some good filler in this. Okay, so first off, let's do the filler because that's more fun. So we have my new edition of Melibon. I'm probably saying that wrong. This game has so many memories for me. This is like one of the first card games I played that wasn't published by Hasbro. I don't even know how I got my hands on a copy of it. I think I had like the 100th edition, the 100th anniversary edition or something. And those cards, I played with that game. Those cards were so threadbare. And I found a place to play online and I would play online with people. Yeah, I was obsessed with this game. It's just like, it's a classic racing game, 2 to 6 players, takes like 20 minutes, probably a little longer if you're smack talking. But it's fun because you're just trying to be the first person to hit 1,000 miles, and there's different bonuses you can get, and you have to have a green light to go, and you can play cards on other people, and yeah, so Melibon. Next up in the 10 game, because apparently this is just 10 game hour, Sushi Go. So Sushi Go is a very light set collection game, drafting card game that I think a lot of people know about. It takes about 15 minutes, 2 to 5 players. I've played this with a variety of gamers, ages 8 and up. You could probably play it with like a decent 7-year-old, probably younger if they already know how to play games. And yeah, it's a really great game to introduce people to the concept of drafting, and because it's like set collections and drafting, and yeah, really easy to score, really easy to play, very delightful little game. Then we have the Why Can't We Be Friends Imperial Settlers expansion. I got this at BGG Con, I want to say. No, it has not been opened yet. I'm sorry everybody that's been waiting, and they're just getting their copies now because it just came out. We have been playing Imperial Settlers and the other sets so that I could review it, which I did review it, and it's link on this, sure, before I wanted to crack this open, and now I really want to crack this open, especially because the 5th faction has been announced, which is Atlanteans, if you haven't heard about that, and I'm super excited to get that and play that when it comes out. And so yeah, I need to play this, and I have to of course find my copy of Imperial Settlers because it doesn't look like it's in this box. Next up, we have Pairs. This is the pirate deck of Pairs, and yeah. I played Pairs, we were kind of on it, but there is a port and starboard 2-player game. No. Apparently there's pirate themed variations. We haven't played on this. Really, we played Pairs once between games, and we weren't super impressed of the pressure luck. Of course, I was playing with people that don't really drink or like those games, so that's probably why. If I took this to a tavern tonight, like just now, I think it would go over pretty well. Next up, we have Hatari. So Zen from Japan actually sent me this game because he thought I would like it, and he was correct. So this is a deduction murder game where you're trying to deduce who killed the victim, and it's fun because you're all playing detectives, and then there's these other things, and it's hidden information, and you're just trying to deduce stuff, and there's a little bit of bluffing, and it's, yeah, I really like this game. If you can find a copy of it, I recommend it. It's Hatari. I believe this is the 2nd edition, which is no longer in print. The 3rd edition you can get. There is a English publisher, I know, in the UK that prints it. It's like a bigger box. And it actually comes with 2 copies of the game inside of it because they're weird. But yeah. Next up, Citadels. Citadels is a classic. Well, I mean, I guess you can't call it a classic, but Citadels is kind of a staple for game collections. It's for 2 to 8 players, which is one of the reasons it's a staple, I would say, because you can play it with such a wide variety of players as far as like table size. It takes about 20 to 60 minutes. The more people you have, the longer it takes. But you are trying to build your city first, so the first person to get to 10 districts wins, and yeah, I think I said that wrong. It's a very interesting rule deduction game. Really good intro for getting folks into that. Also great for a small and large table play size. Jaipur. Jaipur is one of Steve and I's favorite 2-player games. It's a set collection trading game. Yeah. We got it because Daniel Solis was like, have you played this? It's great. And we got it and we were just like, yeah, he's right. It's great. I did a review of Jaipur. You can find a link by clicking the box or down in the doobly-doo. And yeah, Jaipur. Fantastic 2-player game. Set. Upside down. Set. Set is a quick visual game where you're trying to see sets, and the set rule is very interesting. This game box looks like it was designed in the 80s, probably because it was. Yeah, 1988. He just like won't change the style, but the game is still good and it's a good visual game. I'm really good at these games, so I like this game, so I have this game still, and I try really hard to convince people to play it with me because I know I'll probably win. Sweet, so it looks like that is it for the filler. So now we're gonna go into the big games. So I think the first, easiest one to get out would be, I obviously don't have an insert in here from Broken Token. Ted Elspack. Sorry, Ted. Suburbia, which is a great tile placement game. I basically call this game SimCity the board game. So if you liked SimCity and building cities like in SimCity, this is the game for you. Especially if you liked the number part of SimCity, which some people call boring. I really like it, so I really like Suburbia. Steve also does, if that's any influence on you. Next up, we have Inca and Marcus Brand's Village, published by Tasty Mitchell Games. This is a worker placement game where your workers age and they die, and depending on what job they did in their life, depends on where they're buried, and depends on how many points you get at the end of the game, and also how fast the game ends. So yeah, it's a very interesting twist on worker placement. You can send your family members to go work at different places in the village and do different things, and all of your villagers, they age. All of your family members, they age, which is one of the things that I really liked about it. This game, sadly, I have not gotten to the table a lot, but I really want to get this one to the table again, especially because I hear some of the expansions are fantastic and I want to get them. Next up, Kanban. Kanban is a worker placement game about making cars in a car factory. We got this game at BGGCon. Steve got this game at BGGCon, and we have played it only twice, I want to say. We've actually never played our copy. We've only played other people's copies. We really like this game. We really like Panamax for 3 to 4 players, but we are very hopeful and think that Kanban will be super fun for 2 players, which is one of the reasons why we got it, and also because it's awesome. But the board is crazy, and I definitely want to do a Tiffany Teaches episode about Kanban because it really needs it. Like, the Panamax rules are not fantastic. The Kanban rules are worse. And the board is not helpful at all. There's like just too much art on the board, which is a weird thing to complain about, but it's just too distracting. It's very hard to denote the different areas between something that's involved in the gameplay and something that's just there because it looks pretty. So yeah. Kanban. Next up, we have Wasabi. Wasabi is a set collection tile placement game for 2 to 4 players. Basically, you're playing Tetris with sushi on a sushi mat. Everybody on their turn places a sushi ingredient on the mat to try and complete sets that they like secret sets that they're trying to go for. Yeah, it's really straightforward set collection game that I rather enjoy, and I find that I can play it with a variety of gamers, both hardcore and all the way down to intro, because the concept and the art is friendly enough for kind of basically everybody, unless you really hate sushi, in which case it's okay because you're not eating it. So like you really have to hate sushi to not be into this theme. Puerto Rico. No, this isn't turning into a Harlem Shake video. So Steve and I hadn't played Puerto Rico yet, and then I picked up a copy used at my friendly local game store, which is actually not local to me, it's actually in Colorado. But Puerto Rico is for 3 to 5 players. There is a 2-player version, which Steve and I tried playing, and then we're kind of like, about, so we actually didn't finish the game. But I have played Puerto Rico on the iPad, and I like playing it against multiple players, so I'm really hoping to get this copy some playtime with, you know, more than 2 players. If we can't get the playtime, I think I'm just gonna have to stick with the iPad playing, and this copy will have to find another new home. Then the last, but certainly not least game in this box is Tokaido. Tokaido is designed by Anthony Bauza and is one of my favorite games. It is a game about taking a journey and, you know, really enjoying the journey. My collector's edition sadly hasn't shown up yet because nobody's has shipped yet. But this is a game for 2 to 5 players where you're just trying to make sets and take your time traveling on this road and just enjoy the journey of life. I recorded a review of Tokaido, and you can find a link to it by clicking on this box or down in the doobly-doo down below. And yeah, I really like this game. There is a reason I was willing to pay for the collector's edition. So that's it. That is it for Box O Games. I think number 2 was this guy? Yeah, number 2. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Tiffany Unpacks in Oregon, and I hope that you found a game that maybe you would like to check out or find interesting. A lot of the games that I own I do want to review, but it's hard. It takes a lot of time to shoot and then edit a review. So sadly, I feel at the rate that I acquire games, I will never review every game in my collection. But yeah. That's it. I'll see you next time, and I hope you've enjoyed. See ya.